What's up, this is Stephen Bloodworth, and this is my review of Family Portraits, a Trilogy of America, directed by Douglas Buck, and released by Severin Films. I cannot believe it's been a very long time since I've done a review for a Severin or an Intervision title. When I saw this film up for pre-order, I had no idea what to expect, but judging from the amount of people saying how good it really was, I knew that I was in for a treat, judging from what people have said and knowing that Severin does a kick-ass job with all of their releases. Before we get into this review, if you're not already a subscriber, please consider hitting that subscribe button. I post new videos every Monday, Friday, and every other Wednesday. So this trilogy is actually made up of 3 short films spanning from 1997 to 2003, all revolving around depicting the disillusion of the American family. And disillusion is an understatement because what I saw in this film was horrifying. The first film, Cutting Moments, is not only the shortest film, but probably also the most disturbing film. It shows a family with your mom, your dad, and your young son. Immediately it seems like something's wrong because the father really seems to be estranged from his young son. And not only that, it seems like him and his wife have some dirty laundry that they're hiding. We see a conversation, and when I say conversation I mean mainly the wife talking, about some sort of lawsuit or court case where the judge or someone is going to take the kid away, and all the husband says is, "I'm sure everything will be alright." Something seems fishy, and I don't remember exactly what it was from that scene, or they didn't exactly say in the scene. We then go to a very quiet dinner scene followed by bed, where we just see the wife lying there with a tear rolling from her eye. The next day we see the husband plopped on the couch watching baseball, and the wife looks at an old photo thinking that if she makes herself look young again, he will be interested in her, but he barely pays attention and just continues to watch baseball. Upset by this woman decides to mutilate her face. It goes from a steel pad being rubbed up against her lips to her taking scissors and actually cutting off what's left of her lips. The one ironic part about it is she cuts her finger and draws a smiley face on the mirror with her blood. I guess in some way showing that that's the only way you would see a smile out of her. And what that leads to is something extreme and gnarly that I will not spoil. You're just gonna have to see that for yourselves. The second film, Home, shows the evolution of a young boy growing into an adult. His home life isn't the greatest. It seems that nobody really likes each other in the house. Again, it's only a mother, father, and their son. The father is abusive towards him and his mother, and we see it go into when he's in college and he discovers God, tries to seduce a woman, but as his father has always said, it's impolite to stare, and that's exactly what he does to this poor girl. Somehow he ends up marrying the girl, having a child with her, and it seems that both the wife and the child are very, very uncomfortable around him. And it leads to an extremely grisly climax, which again, I'm not gonna spoil, but I will say that there doesn't need to be a lot of action in that scene for it to be effective, and effective is exactly what it is. The third film, Prologue, is definitely the longest film of the trilogy, and also the most confusing. We see a young girl finally returning home after a year being sent away after she was in a pretty horrific accident. The girl's in a wheelchair and both of her hands have been amputated and she has metal claws to replace both hands. She notices how everything has changed, and the part that confuses me is that there is an elderly couple as well who we follow in this story, and mixing the two together, it is definitely a giant mindfuck, in my opinion. Disturbing and unsettling without the blood and gore. So that's the plot of all three films. Now let's get into my overall thoughts on Family Portraits, A Trilogy of America. I'm really glad that Severin decided to put this out on Blu-ray because this is definitely a film, or three short films, that really should receive more attention. And just for the record, the director of these three films, Douglas Buck, also directed a segment in The Theater Bazaar, also released by Severin. While the stories are all different from one another, there is one common theme with each story, being that all of them are very quiet in dialogue. There's not a lot of talking amongst people except for Prologue. However, it's just very tense, very quiet, and when there is finally some dialogue, it's usually nothing positive. The characters are pretty damn believable. It seems that in every situation that they're put in, they play it off perfectly. Choice of cast is definitely an A+. They're not meant to be horror and slasher films, but they are definitely horror films in their own special ways. What you see in this film is definitely a lot more terrifying than any other run-of-the-mill horror film, and it definitely hits you a lot harder. For a rating, I'm gonna give Family Portraits, A Trilogy of America a definite go check it out now. Words can't describe it, it just needs to be seen. To get yourself a copy, head on over to severinfilms.com. Link will be in the description as always. And also make sure to check out Severin and Intervision's other releases, as well as The Theater Bazaar, which recently came out to Blu-ray. So that's going to do it for today, guys. Thank you so much for coming by and checking out this review. If you're new to my channel, definitely hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for all of my latest videos posted every Monday, Friday, and every other Wednesday. And also make sure to follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, to stay posted on what I'm doing behind the scenes of making these videos. Before you click off this video, don't forget to hit it with a thumbs up, and leave me a comment down below saying if you've seen Family Portraits and what do you think of it, and what your favorite short from the film is. Until next time, take care, and stay scared.